So, the one that got away.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What was his name?
His name was Eric.
Was Eric good looking?
Oh, yeah. He was tall, dark, and handsome. Chiseled jaw, six pack, great hair, made really good money, all the rest.
Okay, so there was an instant attraction then.
Mm hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, how'd you meet?
Um, I met him at a promotional event my company was putting on. He was looking for a new internet marketing team for his company.
Did he approach you?
Yeah, he just came up and introduced himself.
How many guys do that these days, huh?
No, they don't. That's why I was impressed.
Okay, so what happened from there?
Well, we started seeing each other, and things were great.
Honeymoon phase, huh?
Oh, yeah, we could not get enough of each other.
What kind of things did you guys do together?
We travel, stay at the best hotels, eat at really nice restaurants. I mean, we had a blast together.
So, it's safe to say that you two were compatible?
100%, yeah.
Sounds like he was your soulmate.
I thought so at the time, but I don't really believe that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think soulmates are a myth.
Okay, okay. So, when exactly did things start to go sideways between you and
I'm not exactly sure. Probably when he made a comment about how much I was on my phone.
Eric? Okay, and what did he say?
He said he felt like I had a better relationship with my phone than I had with him.
And what did you say in response?
Nothing. I just laughed because I thought he was joking around.
What makes you think he wasn't?
I don't know. I feel like he didn't spend as much time with me after that.
Was that the only incident?
No, I don't think that he liked it when I would go out with my girlfriends.
What did he say about that?
Well, nothing really. He just acted strange the whole next day, the first time that I went to the club.
How so?
He wasn't responsive, just give me one word text and like being short, that sort of thing.
Did he ever talk to you about this stuff?
No, he never did, but I knew something was up.
How did you know if he didn't say anything?
It was pretty obvious.
Really?
Yeah, now that I think about it, everything started to go downhill the first time I went to the club.
So, he had a problem with you going to the club?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Well, why didn't you bring it up?
Because I didn't think there was anything wrong with what I was doing.
And now?
It's not that going to the club is bad, but if you really like a guy, there's no reason to put yourself in an environment like that.
An environment like what exactly?
Where cheating can happen?
Just because you go to the club doesn't mean you're going to cheat.
True, but it doesn't mean you won't either.
That seems a little weird.
How's it weird? Going to a place all dressed up where there's alcohol and men who are trying to get laid isn't what a woman should be doing if they're not single.
But technically, you were single, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we were dating, but I really liked him. Single or not, I shouldn't have disrespected him like that.
It's not disrespect if he doesn't give you the title of girlfriend.
But that's just it. Men like Eric don't give women the title of girlfriend just because they're sleeping with him. You kind of have to prove that you're capable of being a good girlfriend.
What do you mean?
How can I explain this? Let's just say, like, you want a part in a play.
Okay.
If you want the part, you know you're going to have to audition for it. They don't just give you the part.
Yeah, but that's a play. That's not a relationship.
You're right, but it's the same concept. Men like Eric require women to audition for the role because he's got plenty of options, just like any Broadway production company.
Okay, that makes sense. So, do you think Eric should have said something about the club?
I don't know.
Do you think he was afraid to?
Oh, no, he was not afraid of confrontation. He was always very direct. I always knew where I stood with him.
So, if it bothered him so much, why didn't he bring it up?
Because if a guy has to tell a woman, hey, don't do the same shit that single women do, then she probably still wants to be single.
Maybe, but communication is the key to good relationships, though, right?
Yes, but a man should never have to tell his girlfriend not to put herself in situations that could lead to cheating.
Well, maybe some women don't know what situations could lead to cheating.
Oh, please. We all know. We just play dumb to give ourselves permission to have our cake and eat it too.
Okay, fair enough. Now, was Eric seeing other women at the time?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Did that bother you?
It did a little bit, but he never threw it in my face or anything.
So you were okay with him sleeping with other women?
I didn't say I was okay with it.
But you kept seeing him, though.
Yes. I mean, as long as he didn't disrespect me or embarrass me, what difference does it make if I don't know about it?
Why would you allow this kind of behavior?
Well, first of all, I didn't allow him to do anything. Men like Eric just do what they want. They don't need anyone's permission, least of all a woman's.
Okay, all right. Let me ask it in this way. Why wouldn't you just leave a man if you knew he was sleeping with other women?
Because it's just sex.
Well, yes, sex is important though, right?
Yes, it's very important, but for men it's different.
How?
Sex for men is just an act. They do it because they're horny and there's very little emotion involved, especially if they're experienced like Eric is.
Even still though, wouldn't that be reason to leave?
If Eric were 5'8" and made $55,000 a year, then yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What's the difference?
Well, Eric was 6'2". He made well into the six figures. He was really good looking and he owned his own business.
Well, there are a lot of men out there with those statistics.
No, there aren't. Not relative to the total number of men that are out there.
So you're telling me it's basically supply and demand out here?
Pretty much.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
Life isn't fair.
Maybe not, but you shouldn't be treated like a commodity. You're a human being.
We are all commodities. The less of you that there are, the more options you have. And that goes for both men and women.
Okay, so what's that got to do with Eric?
There aren't really many men out there like Eric. He has options, and the more options a man has, the more selective he can be about what he tolerates and what he doesn't.
Okay, but he was sleeping with other women. You weren't sleeping with other men.
Yeah, but he ended up dumping me because he couldn't trust me.
Wait a minute. So he was sleeping with other women, but he dumped you because he couldn't trust you? You weren't sleeping around.
No, I wasn't. But how is he supposed to know that if I'm at the club every weekend?
Did he ever tell you he didn't trust you?
Yeah, he told me when he was done with me.
That sounds really messed up. I'm just gonna be honest. I know this is unprofessional, but that sounds messed up.
What do you mean?
Well, he obviously had a problem with you going to the club, right?
Right?
So he should have said something to you about it instead of, I don't know, just surprising you with it out of nowhere and then just dumps you.
Honestly, he didn't have to.
Okay, what do you mean?
Women know what behaviors high caliber men don't tolerate as far as commitment goes. We act like we don't, but we do.
Okay, but going out with your girlfriends is harmless, though. I mean, am I wrong?
It's not harmless.
Not if you want to cheat, but if he doesn't trust you to go out with your friends, then he's just insecure.
He's not insecure. He just wanted to be with a woman who didn't act single. All men do.
Women in relationships go to the club all the time.
Yeah, and look at the state of those relationships.
But we don't know that their relationships are bad. They could be in healthy relationships.
No man is okay with his wife or girlfriend going to the bar or club without them.
But they should be.
But they're not. That's the reality, and that's where we as women go wrong.
How so?
We can bitch and moan about what's fair and what's not, but at the end of the day, there are far fewer Erics out there than there are women who want men like him.
Plain demand again, right?
Exactly. And if I had to do it again, I would have stopped going to the club and been more transparent about who I was texting.
That seems extremely controlling and very toxic.
Call it what you want, but men like Eric have enough options to dismiss women for whatever reason he sees fit.
That seems very wrong, though.
It's not wrong. It's the reality. Guys like Eric have the advantage now.
Okay, that seems a little unfair to women like you, doesn't it?
Not really. I mean, most women have the same advantage in their 20s, but no one's bitching about it then, right?
I guess not.
Okay, so we can't cry about being at a disadvantage after having the same advantage for over a decade.
I guess not. Okay, so what's your advice to the ladies out here who are dating an Eric?
Well, for starters, Tell him you want to be with him and then show him.
And how do you suggest they show him that they actually want to be with him?
They can do things like bring him lunch while he's at work. They can cook for him dinner at his place, maybe do his laundry. Do the domestic things that other women in his life probably aren't doing.
That's good advice.
And stop acting single, ladies. Delete your Instagram. Stop going out without him. Stop talking about other guys who are interested in you. I did all of these things and it cost me a relationship with Eric.
Except Eric didn't say anything about these things.
Men like Eric never do. They never have to.
Well, wait a minute. Why shouldn't they?
Because as a woman, you know what kind of behaviors men like Eric dismiss women from commitment for.
That's brutal.
Just because a guy doesn't tell you it bothers him doesn't mean it doesn't.
Well, if it bothers him enough, then he should tell you.
Or women should stop assuming that if he doesn't say anything, he's okay with it. They're not. They never are, and you never find out until it's too late.
Moral of the story?
Don't make your man have to tell you the difference between acting single and acting like a woman in a relationship. We all know the difference. Let's stop pretending that we don't.
It's a wrap.
All right.